And for more on this, let's now bring in law professor Jeffrey Swartz of the Cooley Law School. Sir, thanks for coming on a holiday weekend.
My pleasure.
So, Professor, I want to talk about Abrego Garcia's case more closely in just a moment. But first, there is a degree of fear that is taking hold in this country right now. U.S. immigration authorities have issued an unprecedented mass email to individuals living in the U.S. on temporary protected status, saying, quote, "It is time for you to leave the United States." Some citizens reportedly also got it. There is real fear in some communities in this country. What should green card holders and citizens know about their rights when it comes to their status? How should they be prepared?
Well, first of all, green card holders and citizens really shouldn't have any fear, although this is exactly what INS is trying to do. The citizens cannot be deported, period. End of quotations. If you want to deport a citizen, you first have to denaturalize them. If they are natural citizens, that is, born here in the United States, that just can't be done. And I think we're going to have that clearly defined in about 3 weeks from the Supreme Court. If you're a green card holder, the same thing. You cannot remove someone under a green card unless you give them due process. That is, giving them notice and telling them why the green card is being dismissed. And it'll be interesting to find out what the grounds are that they set forth. There is fear about this administration and what it intends to do.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that for us. Now, the governor of Arizona just vetoed a Republican-backed bill that would have required local Arizona law enforcement to support the White House immigration crackdown. Alabama just went the other way. Is this, do you think, the next big point of friction in this country?
It is a point of friction. It's basically a state choice how they authorize their police to act. The INS and or Homeland Security cannot force local police departments who respond solely to the political subdivision that they work for to do work for the federal government. They're trying to make states, through legislation at this point, where they can get it through, to force them to do that because it now becomes part of their duties. It's not part of their duties right now, and unless they override the governor's veto in Arizona, police will not be helping INS round people up.
And Professor, we are at a stalemate now over Kilmer Abrego Garcia. The administration isn't moving to facilitate his return from El Salvador in any apparent way. Procedurally, then, what happens next? Can the White House be found in contempt?
They could be, although right now the movement towards contempt has been stayed by the D.C. Circuit until they have an opportunity to look at the entire record to determine whether it's appropriate or not. So it's only been paused. It has not been reversed. We'll see what the D.C. Circuit does sometime this week. I think they're going to let him move forward. And if he does let Blossberg, if they do let Blossberg move forward, he will move forward to contempt, and he will find the right person to hold in contempt.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, the Supreme Court just ruled the Trump administration cannot deport Venezuelan migrants currently being held in immigration custody in a very unusual order, right? Because conservative Judge Alito slammed it. The White House is pushing back, calling for the court to dissolve it. This is clearly headed to a showdown. How rare is this level of division between two equal branches of government? Have you seen anything like it? And who wins out at the end of the day?
The only place I've ever seen this before was 50 years ago when we had to deal with Richard Nixon. And Richard Nixon defied court orders to turn over tape recordings and other documents or to allow his people to testify claiming executive privilege. It went up to the United States Supreme Court, and in a 9-0 decision, they decided the president is not exempt from producing documents. That is part of our separation of powers, and as a result of which he had to comply with the order. And Nixon did, and ultimately resigned. This president wants this confrontation. He is trying to destroy the faith that people have in that branch of government. And I think they're going to stand up to him. I think that this order was just that. Justice Alito was very unhappy about it, but he gave a little breadcrumb as to where he thinks the real problem is or where he wants this to go. And that is that he said that this court did not believe the government when they made a representation that they weren't going to go forward with any deportations. That is very important because for the government to now go back to the Supreme Court, they're looking at a court that doesn't believe them and doesn't trust them.
People watching this very, very closely. We are out of time, but thank you so much for your time today, Jeffrey Swartz.
My pleasure.